WTHC, good morning, everybody. Welcome in. You got the hippie here, and that's the dude right there. The
Morning.
myth, the legend. Oh, you seem down. Did you get your mushrooms yet?
No, I'm just stoned.
waking up. Oh, you're baked.
Yeah.
All right, that's good. It's not a bad thing. You just seem a little more mellow today. A little more
Yeah, I'm a
mellow
little
than
mellow at
normal.
the moment because I just finished my session. So
Yeah, I
it's
didn't get
just
to do a
kicking in,
session.
right? Morning, Steve.
Yeah, welcome in, everybody. Mrs. Hippie's going to share it out. Our numbers might be a little lower today, Dr. High, because I'm not able to get it out to my Facebook pages for some reason. Mrs. Hippie's going to share them out. You got your pages up there, so that'll be good.
Yeah, they look like they're working. So
Yeah, we've already got Steve, and I know a bunch. I told a whole bunch. There was 6 or 8 of us hanging out in the back. That'll be over here. They were all watching.
coming in through YouTube.
Yeah, I'm very frustrated this morning. I can't touch the shit. If I touch shit, man, it just goes bad. And I obviously did something wrong yesterday because after the show or whatever, because after, I don't know what I did though. I don't remember doing anything bad. Linda! That's
Hello,
my friend.
Linda.
Say hi to Linda. She's a sweetie.
How are you, Linda? Robert's
So
with
good
us.
to see you, Linda. Hi, Mr. Slow. How are you? Thank you guys for joining us. Please share it out if you have any pothead friends, or just share it out to everybody because it doesn't have to be a pothead. Did you hear the news this morning, Dr. High?
Which news?
Well, I just happened to be listening. I was skipping through and I saw a thing on my phone, on what do you call it? Rumble. I was going through and they have a bunch of different news things that pop up if you don't follow a lot of people.
Okay.
So I only follow a few people on Rumble. So I was flipping through and all of a sudden I saw a story on weed. And I didn't really record it, but I couldn't record it. But it was Sanjay Gupta from CNN.
Yep.
And he's doing a whole documentary. I haven't seen it. I'm pissed that I'm not watching it. But it's a whole documentary. I'm sorry?
He's done a couple already, too.
Oh, yeah. Well, this one is on seniors and 65 and over and how much weed has increased and plants before pills in the senior centers. Yeah. And it's a whole documentary, like a 4-part story. I want to catch it. I haven't caught it yet, but I caught a little bit of it. I caught like a 5-minute clip that they did this morning on a CNN clip that was coming across my screen there. But that's it. It was good, though. It was interesting. They had a woman. Her name, I think their name of their group is Plants Before Pills or something like that.
Okay.
I would love to get in touch with her, but, she's hanging with Sanjay. I don't know if she wants to come hang with the hippie. I'm like, I don't know if she's going to come hang with
While you're talking about it, I'm going to try and find it in...
Good morning, Alrisha. How are you, sweetie?
In Gupta,
Yeah. It's a whole documentary. Elbow cough.
And try and find it on YouTube so I can put it in my playlist.
Yeah, it's definitely something. I just didn't have a chance. The whole fucking morning I've been fighting with my damn TikTok. I mean, my Facebook and my accounts. For some reason, they don't want me to go live today. I might be in trouble. I don't know. For some reason,
Well, you would have received some kind of notification of that, I would think.
You would think, but I don't know. I don't pay attention. I do a lot of this. Whoop, 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 whoop. Swiping it and get rid of it. I'll look at it later. Swipe. Because I can't stand those little things up across the top of my phone. OCD. I have a few stories I just happened to look up while we were bullshitting behind the scenes. So I got a couple stories. One of them seems very interesting. It's about the smell of marijuana in New York again.
The smell of marijuana where?
In New York. They're bitching about it again.
Okay.
Hi, Kelly. I heard you got your days off. Kelly, yes, I did. Yes, I got your message. Still not on Facebook. It's not going to be on my Facebook. You can find it on Dr. High's Facebook. This Facebook is up there. So what are you smoking on today that is so good? I asked my dispensary if they had 2 or 3 gram carts, and they were like, no. What the fuck are you talking about?
No, there's no point doing it, right? because nobody's going to want to pay $240.
Right. Well, yeah, I will. I guess.
Right, for a 3 gram card over there. So no go. I get it here. It's $50. I mean, it's nothing, right? If you convert that into US money, it's like 40. So, but once you legalize, it'll get there. Probably get cheaper because I know it can be produced. You know what I mean? The beautiful thing about distillate and live resin is that the quality of the weed doesn't have to be tremendous. You don't have to be growing 25, 26%, 30% weed to extract it, right? Like I calculated my returns, or the returns always based on 15%, 16%, because we weren't testing, right? So I didn't know what I was putting in exactly. But I was calculating the returns there. When they were better, fantastic. And when they're around that number, that was always a pretty safe number. But it doesn't really matter because you're concentrating everything, right? So this will allow.
It's fucked up, DoktorHigh. Everything is coming together. Like everything you've been teaching me, little by little, it's all starting to make sense. I don't understand how. You're some sort of wonderful teacher, educator. I don't know. Maybe you should go become a professor at a college and teach medical marijuana.
I applied. They have a program here where I live.
Yeah.
A place called Loyalist College, and they have a pretty good cannabis program. And they've been looking to fill roles within that program, from teaching extraction to different positions. And I know that my level of experience and knowledge will match the professional courses, but I have no
degree
credits, right? I have no degree. I didn't go to university, so right away, right, I get disqualified.
It's bullshit. It's bullshit. We know more than the doctors do. We've been saying it for 40 years. This is medicine.
Yep.
You know what I mean? We've been saying it for 40 years. These motherfuckers are just catching on now. They're like, oh, this could be used as a medicine.
Right, but this isn't really like the college programs and the university programs. They're not teaching you about cannabis as medicine. They're teaching you the side of cannabis from the production through the business end, right?
Good morning, Chris. I apologize for having to find us over here on my YouTube, but my Facebook doesn't seem to want to work today. Fuckers. Meta!
Yeah, so the educational programs are designed to get you into the industry. So they're not really teaching
you have so much knowledge, but you also have 40 plus years of experience as well, where these other doctors have no knowledge. They've been having it pounded into their head, the stigma. And that's what they were talking about on what the hell was I talking about before? The stigma, the pills before plants before pills. Yeah, them people and Sanjay Gupta, they were talking about that as well. Now I forgot what that was, but you know what I mean.
Right. That was about cannabis and seniors.
Right, cannabis and seniors, and how it's increased, and the old folk who are the ones that hate it, the ones that are we're pounding it into our heads, telling us, no, and they even said that on the episode. They said, did you find it? They said that it was compared to crack cocaine when we were kids. We were told to stay away from it. It was bad, like cocaine or crack. And now I'm 70. She goes, now I'm 71 or 61 or something like that, and I fucking love it. And she sounded stoned out of her mind, and she was like, I have no more pain. My anxiety is gone. I would never have sat here and talked to you on the radio. And she has her own program now, and she is the leading old senior citizen lady. Like, she's the head senior citizen. In the push for making marijuana legal, I guess, is what I kind of caught from that.
No, I mean, that's exactly why I started DoktorHigh. Like I've always said, my target audience is 50 up. Right? That's where I believe it's my generation and those just a bit ahead of me. that can really benefit, right, from cannabis, and that's
It'll always be that way. I mean, if we can get not the kids, but the young adults, the youth, not the youth, the 21 and overs, to start on a regimen of whatever to help them with whatever they have now. By the time they're seniors, hopefully, and that's what they were talking about too. The longevity of life after now they've seen an increase in longevity and living longer.
Well, like I would
From
imagine
weed.
that depression and stuff can play a role in shortening your life, right? Because
Absolutely.
these
I have
things
I have
that
a
you suffer do have chemical consequences in the body. So if you can alleviate some of that depression, some of that anxiety that people feel when they're, getting into the early stages of Alzheimer's and dementia, and I mean, what a tremendous benefit.
Right. Good morning, Tina. A shout out to you. How are you, sweetie? I don't want you to leave. We do see you guys over there chatting.
That's why I said good morning already to her.
Oh, I didn't hear you. I'm sorry. Good morning, everybody. Welcome in. So what I was just gonna say though is that it's gone.
With seniors.
Right. Well, with the seniors, and she was talking about I don't know, it's gone, dude. It's gone. Nice try saving it though. I appreciate you. It's gone. Time for some rum in a joint. No, Mr. Slow. No rum. No rum. Put the rum down. We don't talk about alcohol. We don't talk about
Jamaica is a big rum producing country.
Yeah.
It has been for a long time.
Aggie's trying to give up some of the rum, and he's already not giving it up by going and getting more rum.
Yeah. No.
Well, we have a million things we could talk about today. I have, like I said, stories up here.
Already?
Absolutely. I love this topic because I'm going to be a senior soon, and
but
that's what we were saying. I was saying, if we get these not kids, again, I meant youth, the 21s and overs to start on a regimen if needed, then your longevity of life is going to be longer because listen, I have a friend, I don't to be nameless, but her great aunt passed away today a couple days ago, and her grandmother is in a nursing home, and that's her sister who passed away, and they're trying to figure out whether they tell grandma or don't tell grandma. I mean they didn't tell her, and the funeral has come and gone already, right. But because they don't want grandma to die of a broken heart,
and they think that's possible.
Oh yeah, and grandma's in her 90s, and her sister was in her 90s. They've lived a wonderful life, and grandma's such a sweetie. I love her to death. Yeah. But I don't know where I'm going with this. I just feel like if we get grandma high, her pains and her aches will be gone. Her sadness, her sadness will be gone. She won't be as sad because she's living in a nursing home and she only gets visits. And I'm not just using grandma. I'm using all old folks as an example. Mm-hmm. Like any old senior citizen who doesn't have the family. Another friend of mine has an aunt who is like an adopted aunt. They were like a friends of the family, but her whole family doesn't even speak to her. And so these two boys go and they're like family to her. She's the only family, and they go once every 6 months or whatever. So for 6 months, that poor lady is sitting in that house, in that nursing home by herself with nobody to talk to, and I'm like, well if I was high, I would be a lot happier, at least. You know what I mean? If I was stoned, I wouldn't care. I'd be talking to the crazy guy next to me in my bed, over on the other side of the room, my roommate.
Well, this is why cannabis is so beneficial in that age group. There's a lot of good that could come out of it, and very, very, very little negative. Very little negative. That's what my wife does for a living.
Yeah,
she works in long-term care with seniors and demented people, and you know what I mean. That's her day in and out. And we're big advocates for cannabis in there, but they're so resistant, and not the people. The people, there are people that she works with in the home that she works with, and there's only 40 people in this place. And there is a chunk, 5-6 of them, who really want to explore cannabis as part of their day in and day out. But they have one doctor that comes into the facility and handles everybody. So he comes in once a week or once every 2 weeks or whatever the case may be. And he's an old doctor. And he doesn't even want to talk about it. He's like, no, we're not even going to discuss that. So they're effectively blocked from having access because the one doctor they can see denies them the opportunity.
Right. And I'm going to go on even further because I don't think the doctors that are still coming up right now, my doctor, young guy, maybe in his 40s, 30s, still frowned upon me when I said that I smoke weed. He gave me a dirty look. And I said, you know what? I'm switching doctors.
They don't teach it to these guys. And
they're not learning it yet. So it's not being taught. They're not being taught that it is okay, that it's medicine. And so, we have to wait until our children, or maybe even not even your grandchildren, maybe my grandchildren, by the time these kids are going to be learning about marijuana, hopefully, and being able to use it as a proper diagnosis, you know what I mean? Like a proper prescription, because right now they're just saying, all right, well, you're fat, so you can have it because it helps with appetite, and
exactly, because if you leave it fully recreationally open, there will be a segment of the population that uses it and a segment that doesn't, period. So if it's just recreational, forget about medical for a second. You just legalize weed everywhere in the world. It's no longer an issue. You can grow it as much as you want. You can do whatever the fuck you want with it, right?
Right.
Even with that. And then you'll have a percentage of the population that doesn't use marijuana, and you'll have a percentage of the population that does. But the doctors can become educated onto the medical benefits of cannabis. And when an individual goes to see the doctor, that becomes a treatment option within their healthcare regimen, right? So this is just the way we should be. It should be not even an issue anywhere in the world. And then the doctor should be able to prescribe it medicinally to someone who doesn't want to use.
And technically, not to cut you off because you're a brilliant man, but technically, I mean, if it's a small child, not an infant, I don't think infants need it until they're old enough, maybe. But when that autism, if they do enough research and they figure it, they figured out that 2 is the age where you usually start to see signs of autism, then 2 is the age that they should start to use CBD if it's a option. You know what I mean?
Once they have enough science to back that up.
Why? Yeah, right. But they're not going to have the science until we federally make it legal so that schools can teach it and people can learn it. You know what I mean?
Right now, with young developing minds, cannabis is a negative. There can be some medical benefit to it in younger people, but overall, in consideration of all young people.
Yeah, I'm not talking your normal no issue, but if you have a child that's 12 or 14 and they're having anxiety, I don't see why you wouldn't help them with some sort of. It doesn't have to be sit down and smoke a big fat joint with your kid, but you can give them the drops and help them with their anxiety if that's what's going to help them.
Well, I guess there's really not a lot of harm in doing a controlled kind of experiment with it to see if it does work or not on an individual.
Somebody's got to experiment, right, Dr. Hyde? Nobody's doing it.
Yeah, I
They're
mean,
still poo-pooing it.
If it's controlled and looked at properly, then I don't have an issue with that because I think it's a hell of a lot safer than so many of the things that they will use.
Right.
To handle these
immediately to the Ritalin, immediately to the Lexapro, immediately to the Xanax, to the whatever. Yeah. But
that's the secret to addiction, right? Starting young. Starting young and keep them hooked.
Get them on Ritalin. It's not even a choice. Everybody, as soon as you bring your kid to the doctor now, it's like, oh, they got something wrong with them. They're autistic. They got, they're under the umbrella of something.
Yeah, but listen, when we were growing up, there was no ADHD. There was no ADD.
No, you got your ass beat until you smartened up.
But even then, you didn't really need it. You know what I mean? Like, if you got your ass beat, it's because you had an angry parent most of the time. Not because you were that bad of a kid.
Your friends would keep you in line. Like we had a friend. We had a friend. He was one of 4 brothers. I told my friends the story the other day in Discord, and I apologize if you're hearing the story again. But his name was Firewalker Eddie, And we called him Eddie because he was, and this is not right, but back in the 70s, this is what we did. He was in special ed. So we called him Speddy Eddie. We had a whole bunch of names. But he was crazy. He was definitely under the spectrum of autism. But back then, there was no real diagnosis of autism, and they didn't want to say he was the MR word. You know what I mean? Yeah. So he was just, special ed, I guess, is what they called it.
Have you ever seen Crank Yankers special ed? Have you ever seen special ed on Crank Yankers?
Yes.
I got
well,
mail.
I got mail. He had some, he was mentally, he had some issues. A great guy. I still to this day hang out with him every day, as often as I can. We don't live near each other as much. But, he grew up with 3 of my other best friends. The 4 of them were all my best friends growing up. I love them all. Their family grew up right across the street from me. He had some stuff here in his head that was wrong, but he didn't go to no doctors. I don't remember him going, getting medicine for it in the 70s or the 80s. He would run out of the house. His mom would come chasing him because she was going to beat his ass. He would pick up boulders and rocks and throw them at her at full speed, and then she'd come up and get ready to beat his ass, and he'd kick her in her belly, and and I'd be like,
that's an outlier compared to most kids, right? Like outliers are outliers. There's always going to be an outlier, but there's a mainstream. There's always a mainstream. So whenever I'm talking about stuff, I'm always thinking mainstream. The outliers are totally anomalies that you don't even know what to do with, right? Like a kid like this is an anomaly. He's not the normal kid. So this is a kid that maybe you look at exploring different things with, right? When it comes to
this was in the 70s, there was no other things, you know what I mean? Now, let me run this song and some commercials, and we'll be right back. You're hanging with DaHippie and Dr.High. This is Calligraphy with THC. Very excited to get to go see them in September.
Hey, it's Bill Schmidt Jr.
Happy 420 to everybody out there in the Netherlands.
420 kid of the Holistic Cloud. R.I.P. to my man Derek Crow. I want to give a shout out to Calligraphy. My dude Means, little homie Manuel Noriega. Big Just.
And we got to read. We got a whole bunch of comments over here on the side.
So I was just going to get to that before you.
I don't want them to think that we're ignoring them. We'll get to those immediately, guys.
The most important
is seeing who I'm calling for some trees to indulge in. Need to holler at Billy. He keep his head in the cloud. Bel Air Kush by the bush. Wow. Screaming loud, still smoking, having nice dreams floating through space. So when they ask me how high, my reply, I'm half baked. Sir, smoke a lot. Doctor said I need a bacchiotomy. Prescribe me huckleberry and lemon cherry gelato, G. I take it back to rolling in the Optimo, blowing smoke out my nose, dropping ashes on my clothes.
Everybody, please pound that like, and share it out, and subscribe. We went from 82 back to 80. People hate us, Dr. High. We went from 82. Al Risha got us up to 82 the other day, and then she went back in and took them back. She was like, fuck that. Trying to keep up with Master Rochi. He's got 84.
Does he? Master Rochi?
Competing. He doesn't know it, but I'm competing with him in my mind. I'm like, we got to keep up with Master Rochi on the climb.
We should be working with Master Rochi to increase all of our reach.
I can't hear you. You can hear me, but I can't hear you. It's a beautiful sunrise over there, Dr. High.
Yeah, it is, eh?
Good sunshine in my pocket on a Sunday.
I'm just kidding, Al Risha. I know. I don't know who it was, but I just know two people left. You got us up to 82. We're back to 80. Fuckers. Come back!
The studio we roll, bring relief. We the music, all I need to know. Healthier than pill pop. Mother give me herbs that fill spot. My medication can't do a kill shot. Many strands, lay hands in stressful situations. Out of all the girls in my life, Mary Jane, a reservation. Here at 23, raising hands in liberation. A celebration, history free from information. Stand up, provide the right education. Show love, holistic cloud, politics throughout the nation. Making us stop debating Billy Blunt stash, taste the way.
Oh, thank you, Al Risha. She's going to create 2 more accounts so that we can get back to 82. even though she wasn't the one that did it. Talk to you like what? I love you guys. Roll that shit, lick that shit, burn it. Roll that shit, lick that shit, burn it. Roll that shit, lick that shit. I'm gonna be rolling that shit, licking that shit, and burning it with them in a couple months, a couple weeks. Burn it, roll that shit, lick that shit, burn it. Roll that shit, lick that shit, burn it. Roll that shit, lick that shit. All right, thank you, Linda. Woohoo! Linda gave us a follow and a subscribe. We're here every day, Linda, from 10 to noonish. Yesterday till 1.
Right now, our country feels divided, but there's a place where people are coming together.
I gotta tell you, I was nervous to talk to someone so different than me.
Me too, but I'm glad we are.
Love Has No Labels and One Small Step are helping people with different political views, beliefs, and life experiences.
We hope you're having a wonderful and blessed day, Mr. Slow.
Wow, your story is so...
except for the weekends. I forgot we don't do this on the weekends.
When people actually sit down, talk, and listen to one
and,
another, they
September
can break down
or
boundaries
something, I
and
won't
connect
be
as
here
human
on
beings.
Thursday,
At
Friday, Saturday,
lovehasnolabels.com
Sunday,
/one
and
small
probably
step,
Monday.
you can listen to
DoktorHigh.
amazing, life-changing
We're
conversations
coming
and find
to get
simple
you.
tools to start a conversation of your own.
I know one thing.
We're smuggling your ass into the
It
U.S.
gives me a lot of...
Me?
Take a step.
We're on an
within our
island. It's a
country and
moat.
your
An
community
island. They
together
can't
by
find
having
you.
the courage to
We're
start
gonna be
a
there
conversation
partying on
at
an island.
lovehasnolabels.com.
Listen, those motherfuckers
Visit from StoryCorps.
were going to
Life
take
and
my
Label and more.
DNA forcibly if I didn't allow them to have it.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go
add
back
some
to college,
terpenes to your DNA.
Yeah, probably already is.
learn new instruments,
Right. So it's not the same DNA anymore.
start
It's
skateboarding.
filled with all sorts of new terpenes.
Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement.
Good morning,
is.
Gigi.
With
How are you?
acretirement.org, you can get on
Thank
track
you,
with your
everybody,
retirement
for
savings,
joining
no
us and
matter your
finding us
age.
over
Just have
here.
a 3-minute chat
I
with
love and
Avo,
appreciate
the friendly
all of you.
digital retirement coach from AARP.
We'll be back in
You'll
a couple
get
minutes after
personalized
these last
recommendations
commercials.
based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back. Woohoo! Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie.
So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org
Yay!
and start chatting with
Back
Avo
to
today.
82.
That's aceyourretirement.org.
You guys
A
are the
message from
best.
AARP
We're
and the
almost
Ad
to
Council.
1 million. Badger Heart Puppetry. Badger Heart Puppetry. Badger Heart Puppetry. If you need some kick-ass puppets, contact Thorge at 1-636-234-1535. He has all your puppet needs. He can fix puppets, build puppets. Awesome tonight, puppets. Right? He has puppets off the rack for. She's cheap, going to Metallica, I think. Is it tonight?
Metallica,
1-636. I don't know about Pantera. I that was where I kind of cut it off. You know, a couple good songs, but then I was like, I'm done with this music shit. He also makes walking items. And I'm sad because I would have never have heard about the Hue.
Hey Hippie, look
And
at
I
this beautiful
love
crystal
the
sphere I
Hue.
got from Bella's Badass Crystals.
Look at this big vagina I got.
OMG, Hippie.
It doubles as a worry stone.
Bella's
Might be my
Badass
new
Crystals
favorite
is on
band.
the top of the mountain in Dauphin, PA.
I need to get
You can
more.
also check out their
I
sales.
gotta look
They
them
have
up and see
mini
if I can find
Mondays
more.
And twice a day Tuesdays.
Subscribe.
Badass
I got no
Crystals on Facebook,
subscribers.
Instagram, and TikTok.
They are
badass.
badass.
You're not a subscriber, you prick.
I only have 2.
Oh, is it me and Raggy? WTHC. I don't even think I could find you the other day when I looked for you. I gave up. Metallica, Pantera, 5-Figure Death Punch, Ice, 9 Kills, and Mammoth.
So I'm going
That's
to go all the way
late.
back up here to 1012.
Yeah, man, we had a lot of comments.
And Chris, he's like, here's a good one for you. Being legal here in Minnesota for 2 days, this lady had to go outside the dollar store because someone came in smelling like weed and it was making her sick. So she went out to smoke a cigarette.
Yeah. So yeah.
That's fucking ludicrous, eh?
It smells, oh my God! It smells like weed in here. I gotta go outside and smoke a cigarette.
Yeah, like, come on, man. Get
This
your
is
head together.
disgusting. It
What's
smells
wrong
like
with
a
people?
skunk.
What's
Oh,
wrong with people?
Yeah,
Hey?
fucking crazy. Well, that leads me right to this story about the bothered by pot smell.
Well, we'll get to that after. Let's get through some of these comments.
Ah, fuck. All right.
They're more important sometimes than the story.
I agree.
You know?
I want the comments, but this one is a good. I don't know. She's suing New York.
Oh,
You know, I'm suing New York
workaholic,
for the smell of weed.
yeah. So Chris Sandy wishes would have let him smoke some weed when he was young. Yeah, because Chris, you had some issues going on, right? Some physical issues and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think if you go down a little further,
that could have been good. Well, I'm just remembering from the other day what he was saying, right? So, yeah, in your case, it might have been beneficial, right, to try as a younger person, because the benefits could have potentially outweighed the risks.
Good morning, Lori.
Really, what it's always about when you're trying to evaluate whether cannabis would be a good medicine or not, you have to look at the benefits and you have to look at the risks. And if the benefits outweigh the risk, in which case cannabis almost always does because the risks are so small, then it's always worth exploring that avenue of therapy, right? Because it can be good for you. It can actually make your life better. Yeah, what's up, hippie?
Well, I agree with you 100%. And I feel like it started, like how I was saying before, how, until our grandkids maybe. But if you think about it, really, we've started it. Our kids are going to continue it. And then those kids are going to continue it. You know what I mean? Like we started it. Now people are touching on medicine for autism. People are touching on medicine for all these different things. By the time my children are old enough, our age, so say in the next 40 years or so, I feel like hopefully it'll be a lot further along in 40 years.
It's going to take half a generation after legalization.
Right. But then it's going to be all up from there. Because
what's going to happen is legalization is going to occur. There's enough interest in cannabis that right away, once universities have open access to the product, to the plant, right away, universities are going to start looking at it because people are going to be trying to figure out what this is all about, right? Because there's so much indication, but nobody can study it because of its status as an illegal plant on a federal level. So once you have legalization, the universities will get in and study. That can take a few years, 4, 5, 6 years. They'll be studying. Benefits will show. They'll filter into the medical schools. The medical schools will start discussing with the doctors that are being trained these findings from the universities, from the studies they're doing, and then the doctors will start to incorporate it as part of a regimen. By then, it'll already be open recreational because it's legalization that's the catalyst for the education side of it. But once that occurs, then things will move forward. So as seeing it prescribed by doctors on the regular will probably be 20 years, 15 years after full legalization.
Federal legalization.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Unfortunately, so what you're saying, and no offense to any of you docs out there, but I mean, you guys are just the same as those opiate pushers right now. I mean, you really don't have very much knowledge. You're just handing out cards to whoever and whatever until we finally make it federally legal.
Yeah. Well, some doctors really care.
It's that song, Weed Card by Garfunkel and Oates. They sing about 75 different ailments in a matter of a minute and 38 seconds, of the different reasons you can get a weed card.
But you know what? In my research, I found just about that many published studies about the benefits of cannabis. About 75, 78 different medical conditions. So funnily enough, they're bang on with that number.
Right.
Because there's evidence to support every single one of those claims up to that number. It's not not a joke. It's not that they're saying, oh, like any doctor will write a weed prescription. You can go in there for a fucking stub toe or whatever. No, there's actually proof that there's that many different conditions that can benefit from cannabis.
But I agree 100%. But just about everybody in the world falls into one of those 75 categories, whether you're having an eating disorder, whether you have mental illness, whether you have whatever it may be.
What does that tell you?
Bowel trouble, heart issues. They told me I have an aneurysm, but they said, quit smoking cigarettes. Don't worry about that. And I don't smoke cigarettes, but I vape. But they said, continue to smoke weed because we really don't see any reason why you would have to stop smoking weed. And I'm like, okay. What about that really, really loud, hard coughing? Is that going to make my shit explode in my heart? And they were like, no.
Well, I don't know.
They said they didn't say that. They didn't really respond. They kind of were like,
Yeah,
they were like, your aneurysm is so small, we're not even worried about it. Come back in 2.5 years and we'll see. We'll look at it again. They were like, but right now it's nothing.
So Linda put her son on Klonopin when he was 8. That's a pretty serious drug.
Right. But meanwhile, put a little CBD under his tongue and maybe he will calm down and not need to be. So maybe his ADHD or whatever he's on Klonopin for, and I'm not a doctor in any way. This guy's closer to being a doctor than I am. But, I would hate to have somebody on, and my kids are on medicine, pills. And technically, the boy doesn't really need them. He's off. He could be off of them. He could smoke and he would be fine because his ADHD, is the only thing that affects him. He can't slow his head down. He's going like me, going. So I smoke a lot of weed to slow my brain down.
Slow your brain. So Chris is saying that he takes something for his seizures. Have you ever tried going really high CBD, Chris? Like, you know what I mean? Like trying to source an oil or a preparation that's like really high CBD, like a 20-to-1.
Can I say something, DoktorHigh?
Yeah.
It goes to that point. Chris, he's saying that, but it doesn't mean you still can't smoke your weed. And I always get concerned when you say go and you're like, go get something with some CBD in it. And I don't take it into consideration. Hey, dumbass, you can still get stuff with weed too. He's just saying take some big hits of CBD as well.
Well, I'm just talking about like, because that's where CBD is really beneficial, right? In these situations that involve seizures and tics and things like that. So, but you need to have some THC. But the higher CBD ratio than THC is actually maybe what you should explore first before looking at high THC, low CBD, which is the norm, right? Just try and flip-flop it around. And it doesn't mean you can't keep THC in your diet too, but you want to elevate that CBD intake if possible to see if it has any beneficial effect.
Question.
Yeah.
I don't have to get a cart that has high CBD and little THC, right? I can just get CBD distillate, make myself a nice cart of it or whatever, and then vape that. And then if I want to get high, I just take some hits off of my weed as well.
Yeah. Yeah. You can take CBD isolate and
I don't want to miss
oil. Yeah. If you get isolate and you mix it with a little MCT oil, and you can do 1,000 milligrams to 1 milliliter. That's how well it uptakes into MCT oil.
Right. That's my goal.
That's 2 full carts if you got a 0.5 tank, right? And that's going to be pure CBD. So that's a really good way to do it if you can find access to the isolate.
Well, you told us California, that company will call them
$1 a gram for
$14 for 10 grams or something like that.
The shipping was 150% of the cost of the product.
Right.
That way.
I've already told Mrs. Hippie we're getting that. I'm going to start creating my own CBD with MCT oil, and I'm going to be vaping a CBD pen at all times, which is what I'm going to try to do, sir. Here, this is what my goal is, because they said, hey, dude, you need to get off the nicotine. So instead of vaping nicotine, I'm going to fill my vape with CBD. So I might not take it as
You can go half CBD and then put some distillate into it too and make your own ratios also, right? Like there's a lot of things you can do. You can be really versatile in your experimentation to find what you find good.
Don't confuse me.
Well, I'm not saying it can be done. And when you have
I just got this all planned in my head. I just got it all planned in my head. Now you're giving me more ideas.
Don't plan it in your head. Just get the stuff, and I'll do it with you, so you'll learn. Don't plan. Just get the stuff.
Well, my goal was to see this vape here. This vape, I was going to use that as my CBD vape, and then this way I no longer have nicotine in there. I'm CBD vaping when I feel like I need that oral fixation. But then when I need to get high, I'll do that, and I'm no longer taking in nicotine.
Well, you could mix them in the other tank too, right?
In my little ones?
No, in your big one.
Mix what?
You can put distillate in that tank with.
But I have to get a better coil. You said, right?
Well, not if you use an MCT oil as much because you're liquefying it pretty much. Like if you're using a heavy oil, like a straight distillate, like you're using in your small ones, then you need to have ceramic. But if you're using MCT oil, then you can get away with a cotton coil because you're going to be making that oil loose enough that the cotton can uptake it. So, it's because of the way that you're going to prepare it, right? It's going to be a little bit different preparation. But it's really as simple as ordering that CBD, and it costs you $25. It's nothing for an inclusion for you, really, You go on Amazon, you buy a graduated cylinder. You can get one as small as 10 milliliters. That's all you'd need. And it's just like something you used to see in science class, right? It's a thin little tube with measurements on the side. It's simple as that. And that way, you take your MCT oil, you pour in 1 ml or 2. What I would do is do like 5 ml, make a full mix at one time, or you're getting, if you buy that 10 gram, do the full tube, do 10 ml MCT oil and 10 grams of CBD right into it. Mix it all together. Little muscle, I'd go like that. And then you could simply put it into a little bottle or a little jar, like one of your regular.
I have my regular vape juices, ones that I can keep. And
you can put them right inside there. They may actually pick up a little flavor from your vape juice from what's still left inside the bottle, which might be pleasant.
Technically, my vape juice store sells flavor as well. You can go in and buy like a tiny little bottle of mint or coffee.
Or you can order a little bottle of terpenes from Florida for $10.
Oh, right.
You know what I mean? Do your own terpenes like that. But
a little kosher tangy.
Let's put it this way. For $50, you could have yourself 10 grams of CBD oil ready to go for $50.
And that would last me 10 years.
1-liter carts. 10 one gram. Yeah. For $50. $5 a piece, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Then you could sell. Oh, no.
No.
Anyway, I got to run a commercial. Why don't you start reading ahead on the next couple of questions because we still got.
I'm only at 11:20 right now. I'm 22 minutes behind in the messages.
Yeah, I know, right? These guys are amazing. Thank you so much for being here. You're listening to WTHC on Live 365 and TuneIn, and today we are on YouTube. Yeah.
Hey, Dad, your prescription will be ready in just a minute. Hey, Dad, your laundry will be ready in just a minute. Dad, your lunch will be ready in just a minute.
Hey, honey, why don't you take a minute?
When you help care for a loved one, you give them as much time as you can, making sure they're safe and comfortable. But it's just as important that you take some time for yourself. At AARP, we can help with information and useful tips on how you can maintain a healthy life balance, care for your own physical and mental well-being, and manage the challenges of caring for a loved one. Because the better care you take of yourself, the better care you can provide for your loved one.
Thanks, Dad.
Thank you.
You're there for them. We're here for you. Find free care guides to support you and your loved one at aarp.org/caregiving. That's aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
All right, class, let's hear what everyone did this weekend. Jill? Well, I raised my older sister to a big oak tree. It was at least 100 years old. My mom said I must have set a record or something. And then we went down by a stream and perched up on this huge rock and saw all of these little minnows swimming around way below us. And then I rescued my little brother from an evil slug king who was guarding him at the bush fortress. And my sister and I brought him back to our super twig fort for safety. And then we all laid out and told stories until it got dark. And the Big Dipper led us all the way home.
Wow. Awesome. Where were you, Jill?
Yeah. We went to the forest. It's not that far away. Anyone want to come this weekend?
Ask your parents to take you and your friends to the forest this week and find the fun, adventurous you. It's closer than you think. Check out discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Say bye-bye to bottled water. Holistic Health Water has certified medical-grade water ionizers that make 7 types of water, including healthy alkaline. There's a 5-micron filter that lasts up to a year, and each machine lasts 25 to 30 years. Simply attach to your faucet or install under your sink. Even get a mineral spa unit for your shower. Go to ownyourwater.org to get a free ebook. Plus, pay for any machine in full and get an extra filter free. Change your water and change your life. Ownyourwater.org.
Hey, it's me, Mississippi. Check out Vern on TikTok at You Have Me Hooked. She's amazing. And everything she makes on TikTok, she sells at You Have Me Hooked 23 at Etsy. So you can watch her make it, and she'll make personalized stuff. So if you have an idea, like I would like this thing made, she can make it. She can make anything. She's an incredible artist. Check her out at You Have Me Hooked on TikTok and You Have Me Hooked 23 on Etsy.
Sorry. Good morning, Dee Debs.
Back on the road again, well, man's got to eat. Well, I could be deaf, dumb, and blind and still drive 20 east. I've done it before, in the middle of a goddamn raging storm. You know this to be true. I got a first floor room, yeah, a real first class scene. The TV don't work, but they swear they'll fix the heat. I've been drinking wine, just trying to kill some time, until the sun comes up and I find myself back on the grind. Yeah, well, time.
I'm gonna try, Gigi.
Time is money, and money.
I think I went to it like 4 times already, but I guess they're doing another one.
Time and swill, I've got plenty. What I'm saying, I ain't bled.
I wasn't very impressed the last time, but I'm gonna give them another chance.
Hate that I got to live my life this way. Forget the week to week, it's a struggle day to day. I ain't got much, I just got a trowel and flow. Hail a stone mason, down the road I go. Yeah, well, time is money, and money is blood and sweat. All time and sweat, I've got plenty. What I'm saying, I ain't bled out yet. Oh, well, time is money, and money blood and sweat. Oh, well, time else. Well, I've got plenty of what I'm saying. I ain't blood out yet. I ain't blood out yet. I ain't blood out yet.
His name is Scotty Crosby. You can find him right here on YouTube and all the other platforms. He's fantastic.
That's a great song.
Right
I really like that.
out of the Pocono Mountains. Yeah, he's a good friend of mine, actually.
I like
He's
that song from the first time I heard it.
Yeah, he came into my shop. Well, his wife worked at the shop where I worked, and he came in one day, and his wife and I were very close. We got along very well, and we worked in two different parts of the shop, but she would come and hang out, and we would hang out. I don't want to get her in trouble. But anyway, we would hang out and talk and, bullshit and maybe partake in some medicine and stuff, And then one day he came and I met him for the first time, and he was really cool and shit. And then he came in and he went back out to the car and he got his guitar, and she was like, "Oh, you gonna play?" And he was like, "Yeah, I gotta practice my song." And then all of a sudden he just started playing in the store right there, and then next thing I know, we had 5 or 6 people standing around hanging out listening.
You start playing songs like that, I guarantee you're gonna have people standing around.
And he was jamming out, and he's really good. He's got a lot of great songs. I'm trying to get him to give me some more. I only got 3 or 4 right now, but he's got to get into the studio. He's got a lot of them made, but not recorded in the studio. So I got to get him into the studio somewhere.
Nice.
All up.
So
anyway,
let's get back to
go for
comments. I wanted to talk because I'm looking through here and I see, what Linda's talking about her situation and Chris talking about his situation. And the fact that cannabis has been beneficial for both of them, that they found relief through the use of cannabis, is pretty incredible. Now, something I really want to do with my website is to add a section where people can tell their story of their journey with cannabis, right? How they found it to improve their quality of life, how it's made life better for them. And this way, when people come to the site, when they can start reading stories of others who've made that journey, right, and found healing either through cannabis or a better way of life through cannabis, it inspires them to maybe take that risk too, right? To jump ahead and give it the option. So I'd really like to appeal to both Linda and Chris, if they're with us, and anybody else who's had a real positive experience with cannabis and just found it changed their lives.
I would love to. I would have to
And
probably
if you wanna
dictate
write
to
me-
Mississippi, but
If
I
you
got a
want to
good
write
story.
me either write down your story either in Google Docs or in Word or any place like that where you can email it to me afterwards. You can even just write it as an email if you want and email it to me. I'd love to actually publish it on my website and start that section off, because I don't really have a testimonial section yet. It's always been in my mind, but I need to interact with the people who are having the experiences so that I have the content to put in there.
Right, you guys are our testimonials.
Yeah, so I mean, if you're up for it, it would be phenomenal, and I would truly appreciate it. And I'm sure a lot of other people would appreciate it too, because you just never know who you can help, right? By putting your story out there, and you don't got to detail your personal details. Like nobody really needs to know.
I don't need to know you got herpes.
Yeah, like I mean, you only share as much as you want to. You don't even have to use like your whole real name, right? You like Linda T or Chris W or whatever. I'll never share your
anonymous
with anybody or anything, but yeah, but if you ever felt like you wanted to do that, then you have a place to tell your story. 100%.
Where would they send it to, sir?
They'd send it directly to DoktorHigh. You can send it to David Johnson at DoktorHigh.com.
There you go.
Yep. So, yeah. So let's get back. Where were we at now? I'm 30 minutes behind.
Okay.
Trying to catch up on the roads.
Okay, we got some time.
Do we have any questions in here? John is going to have a good day today. Tailgate party, concert.
Yeah.
That'll be all right.
I'm
And it's
jealous.
going to be a long show too. That's 1, 2, 3. That's 5-6 hours of music.
At least.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
And Metallica. Hello.
I didn't
Metallica.
get a chance to say hi to Glitchy Witchy Bitch.
Oh, it's okay.
Nancy Lowry, you're with us. How are you?
She's a little witchy today.
Who?
Glitchy witchy bitch.
Oh.
She came in bright and early this morning and called us fuckers right off the bat. She said, "Good morning, fuckers."
There we go.
I was like, great.
They can't start smoking when they're teenagers, and it helps, especially my son. Okay. Yeah,
Shout out to my New York Jets getting their asses kicked last night. Woo woo.
That's really what it all comes down to, right? Is it beneficial? Does it help? You know?
It's
too
too
that's
nice.
another thing I wanted to tell you all out there. Stop paying these people to do the things you could do for yourself. If you're in a legal state and you're accessing medical product, some of these things you can do yourself for less money, right? Especially when it comes to CBD, because CBD is legal everywhere. So there's no reason for you to pay more money to get a product that's heavier in CBD from your dispensary. I can show you the exact path to doing what Hippie and I were talking about earlier, where you can make yourself a good volume of this product and use it at your discretion very, very cheaply, 1,000 milligrams for $1. You can't beat that. Yeah, go ahead.
DoktorHigh, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure my friend DoktorHigh said that he has like distillate over there on the counter or something. And maybe we could do a live where you would make some. I don't know. I don't want to force you to make stuff that you don't want to make.
I have isolate.
That's what I'm saying. And do you have the MCT oil? Can you make a grant? Maybe not today, but let these guys get their stuff.
But I can definitely show you the process.
Yeah, let them get their stuff, and we can actually do it right here. And you can watch DoktorHigh make it, and then make it yourself.
It's so easy. Like if you guys can make a cup of coffee and add sugar, and then you can do this. It's really that simple. Like people think it's complicated, but it is that simple. If you can make a cup of coffee, you can make this preparation. You can do it THC, you can do it CBD.
You can do it.
You know what I mean? Like it's not complicated at all. And the amount of money you're paying somebody else to do it is crazy. I was a bit surprised the other day when I was looking for the CBD isolate out of California at $1 a gram. I thought we were going to find it someplace around $15 a gram, but at $1 a gram, that is pretty phenomenal. Now, I guarantee you, if you go down to your local dispensary and look for a CBD heavy cart, that'll be more CBD than THC. You're going to pay $50, $60, $70 for that half
right.
gram.
That's why I was saying to you before. I'm saying, why would I buy it in a cart at $90 a cart with a little THC and a whole bunch of CBD when I could just go pick up the distillate and make it myself? That's what I was saying.
And you can custom make it for yourself. So if you want a 50-50 ratio, let's say for Chris, right? Because he deals with some seizures. So let's say he wants to experiment with a 50-50 ratio. He can simply buy 1 gram or 1/2 gram of distillate from the dispensary. He can buy that bottle from California for $25 with 10 grams of CBD.
Distillate in a syringe, sir? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
distillate in a
distillate
syringe.
in a syringe.
Not a cart. Not a cart.
No, you don't want it in the cart.
Sometimes we need to specify.
Because you can't get it back out of the cart, right?
Yeah,
so you need it. You can get it out of the syringe, but you can't get it back out of the cart. And you can simply make your own 1-to-1 preparation by using 1/2 gram of distillate and 1/2 gram of CBD isolate and 1 milliliter of MCT oil. Now you have a 1-to-1 mix. If you want to go 2-to-1, then you can go 66% CBD. So you can go 660 milligrams of CBD, and you can go 335 milligrams of THC. Now you have 2-to-1 ratio, 2 CBD to 1 THC. And you can do it in the inverse too. So you can mess around with it. You can go anywhere from 10% to 100% in either direction. So you can custom make those applications for yourself, and you can do it with your edibles. You can do it with your vape carts. You can do it in every form except flower. That's
So-
what you can't manipulate. It's a flower.
But, and this is a big but if you're legally allowed to grow flower and there's a limit or whatever, you are able to grow enough flower, right? I mean, to make this stuff if you really wanted to, right from
No.
the beginning.
It's, you know what I mean? Yes, you can do it yourself right from the beginning, but the equipment costs money. You know what I mean? It's not cheap. It's not free to do
If you
it.
sell enough weed, you'll be making money. No,
Yeah,
I'm
but
just
we're not talking about selling weed. We're just talking about having a term medicine. You know what I mean?
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
So,
Everything the hippie says is a joke, everybody. Just remember.
That's the whole thing, right? Flour, you have
He's
no
the smart
control
one.
over. Flour, you utilize as flour. If you're going to make your own can of butter or whatever that is from the flour, absolutely you can do it, but it's not a controlled method. It's not a method for which you can determine your exact proportions, exact dosing, things like that, because you don't know most of the time what's in that flour exactly, so you're not quite sure. So when you start working from live resins, from distillate, from CBD isolate, you have real numbers you can work with because they're lab tested numbers. And then you can do your proper proportions so that you can accurately dose. You don't need to take more than you need to. You don't need to take less than you need to. And you can prepare it in all the ratios you want. You can get the right terpenes in there. Like, these are the things that I can teach you how to do, and do it on a shoestring budget, because when I was making these preparations, I was doing it for commercial purposes. So we wanted to make them as inexpensively as possible so we could maximize on the profit when we sold it. So what I can teach you is how to manufacture from that point of view at the cheapest possible cost, so that you get the maximum benefit from your medicine at the least hit to your pocket. And these are the kind of things I want to be able to teach people.
Right. That's what I want to learn. All right. Go on. We have more questions or comments?
I don't know, do we?
Does it go?
So turquoise perfect way. Okay, Gianna, Risha, 2 nights. No, I think we're at the bottom. I have a couple serious stories about how cannabis. I love sharing with people how it was treated because they saw the cannabis in my house. Well, Chris, like I said, man, if you want to take the time to hammer that all out in a Google Doc or in Word and forward it to me, I would love to put it up on the website and get that ball rolling. You know, once I get the site set up, perhaps you guys can just log right in there and do it if you want to. And that's the whole idea. But I got to start with content. And as I always say, I'm not a medical patient. I've never been a medical patient, so I can't speak to the actual benefit of cannabis from that point of view. You know what I mean? I could tell other people's stories, but then it's secondhand knowledge, and I don't really like to do that because, you know, you tell somebody else's story and you're bound to make some mistakes because it's not your own. So I don't want to make those kind of mistakes. I'd rather let the people tell their own stories because then it's accurate, you know, and simple as that.
I got you. I hear you.
That.
What else?
So I had ChatGPT there when we did our last commercial.
You did
I went into ChatGPT and I thought, you know, we don't get a lot of questions. We get some questions, but not a lot of questions. So I said to ChatGPT, can you give me some complex questions about cannabis with no answers? And it did.
Nice.
So it's a good place to work. It says, this is the first question. What are the different stages involved in the cannabis cultivation process? And how do environmental factors influence the plant's growth and cannabinoid production? This is a good question.
Wow.
This is AI asking this question. But we can use these questions, Hippie, because when we don't have questions, we can work through through these. It's good topics.
Absolutely. You can use them over and over again because not the same people are going to be here every time. You know what I mean? So,
well, this thing will give us as many questions as we want. If I ask for 1 million, I can get 1 million different questions from it. You know what I mean? So it's beautiful. So really, okay, so there's different stages involved in cannabis cultivation. The first stage is either your clone or your seed stage. So it's your propagation stage. And you propagate in two ways. You either start from seed or you start from a cutting, which is a clone. That moves into the vegetative phase, which would be about, it starts really right away, but when you cut clones, it takes about 2 weeks for those roots to really get out there. You got to keep them in a different environment than you ultimately grow in. Seeds takes a couple of weeks too before it has a little bit of root system. Then you can truly go into veg, what you think of veg. So you have your veg cycle, which is where the plant actually develops its structure and grows, but no fruit forms. So during your vegetative cycle, this is the cycle in which you want to have your lights on for 18 hours a day and off for 6 hours a day. Some people vary it. Some people go 20 hours on, 4 hours off, but usually not less than 18. And the reason for that is because plants work on a process called photosynthesis, where they use the light from the sun to convert the nutrients in the soil into food. So it's basically the energy that makes the plant grow. So the theory is giving it all those hours of light makes the plant gives it more opportunity to grow because it has a continuous energy source for that time. The third stage is the flowering stage. And this is where you'll change your light cycle from 18 and 6 down to 12 and 12. So 12 hours on, 12 hours off. You'll also change your feeding at this point. During your vegetative stage, you're feeding the plants differently than you do. They require different nutrients than they do during flower. So when it comes time to start to produce fruit, the plants will require a different type of nutrients. They need access to different nutrients in different amounts, right, during this phase. But what they also need is change in the light spectrum. So when you're in vegetative stage, you'd want to grow under metal halide. When you use LED lights, you can usually adjust light spectrum through an app on your phone, and you can change it over because one spectrum needs more light in the blue range. So when you're in the vegetative stage, you want more blue light. When you're in the flower stage, you want more red light. And these are frequencies we don't really see that much with your eyes. You can see the difference in a grow room because one set of lights will have more of a yellowish tinge to them. In veg, you have a more yellowish tinge, and then in flower, you're more like bright white, So it transitions through there, light cycle change, nutrients change, and then you go anywhere from about 56 days, which is, I think, 8 weeks, to some can go as far as 10 to 12 weeks in flower before is completed and then the harvest occurs. So that's the question to ChatGPT's, or the answer to ChatGPT's number one question.
Yeah, well, that concerns me because in that kit that you say I can buy for $400,
yep,
it's not going to have the lights that I'm going to need.
Yep.
And the ability to be yellow and blue or whatever you just said.
These kits are designed for indoor cannabis use, for growing.
How many can you grow in there comfortably?
Depends on the size tent, right? So the smallest tent you can buy is like 2 feet by 2 feet. But you can get 4 by 4, 6 by 6. And then I would say for each increment, there's 2 more plants. So in a 2 by 2, that's really 1 plant. 4 by 4, 2 plants. 6 by 6, 3 plants. 8 by 8, 4 plants. You know what I mean? That's really what you're looking at. Normally, of course, you could grow smaller plants, right? Like you could do a
You're
dozen
talking
in a
8
by 2,
8 feet wide by 8 feet tall.
No, 8 feet by 8 feet square. So
Square.
it takes up 64 square feet of floor space.
I don't have that much room in this room, and I need 3 plants. Son of a bitch.
Got a garage?
No.
Inclined to build a shed in the backyard?
I have a shed, but it's filled with good stuff.
Well. But yeah, you need that footprint. But you can do it anywhere, right? Carpeted room.
What about 3 2x2s?
Well, they're going to take up the same amount of space, basically. But yes, you could. But now you're paying triple the price because the 2x2 might cost you, $340, and the 6x6 might cost you $450. But if you buy 3 2x2s, now you're spending $1,000 for the same floor space as you would have got for $450. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
and you're using the same amount of space, and you got triple the equipment, right? Because each one's going to have its own light. It's going to have its own movement. It's going to have everything. So
each one is going to have their own fan, their own heat.
You just want to do the biggest you can do right off the rip, and you can be extremely successful with them.
Three plants would be perfect every 75 days or every 50, whatever it is, 56 days, once I get the auto flowers going.
If you want to do a harvest every 56 days, you need 2 tents, right? Because you're going to need 1 tent where your plants are in flower.
Well, I figured I would start them when they're outside, right? Don't I start them under the regular light when they're in the seed form still? That counts as some of those days, no? Or is that 70, 56?
You can go outdoor to indoor. All right. But you can go indoor to outdoor, but not the reverse. You can't go outdoor to indoor.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm hoping that, my dumb ass will get them in the ground by the right time next year as well. So some of them will be outdoor season, and I'll be starting some indoor for the next winter.
Yeah, but you prepare for that, right? If you've got 2 tents, then in your veg stage, when it's time to prune your plants, you simply cut some clones from your plants, and you always have three cycles going on, right? You have your clone phase where you're developing your roots. You have your vegetative phase, that's the plants are getting bigger. And then you have your flowering phase. And when your flowering phase is done, you harvest those plants, you move your veg plants into the flower space. Your clones become your veg plants.
So now I just went to 3 tents.
No, because you can do your clones and your veg in the same tent.
Oh, okay.
Because the clones don't take up a lot of space.
We got another minute or so before I can run commercials so that we are on time for our 420 song. Any last comments on that? I mean, I'm looking into getting a shed and putting another shed or a garage on my property and turning a studio into getting one of them garages with the upstairs on it so that I could build a little studio up there.
The studio should have that grow tent right in the background.
Yeah, I could have the grow tents.
Surrounded by DoktorHigh art.
Right. The whole idea, now I just have to make the money. So keep those donations coming in, guys. I've gotten no pounds of weed.
Let me just make it clear, hippie. One trip to the dispensary, like you made the other day, for half of that money, you're growing.
Right. I know. I just have to be able to go without for that time. That's the hard part.
Life's about sacrifice sometimes.
All right. I'm going to run the commercials. We'll be right back. You're hanging with the hippie and that other dude, DoktorHigh. We're having a great time. We're talking weed. Come on back.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous, as in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad.
By
just
yourself,
the same.
Curly Kel.
To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service
JJ
announcement
there?
brought to you by the U.S.
Crazy
Department
Lori?
of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S.
morning,
Kids,
JJ.
and the Ad Council.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a
Keep smoking
superhero
them
at
cigarettes,
home.
dumbass.
Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her
There's
Mom.
a patch on your arm to boot. To boot.
Your hero
Right?
needs
Is
you
that how
now,
we say it up
and
in Canada?
AARP is here to help.
To boot.
Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Say bye-bye to bottled water. Holistic Health Water has certified medical-grade water ionizers that make 7 types of water, including healthy alkaline. There's a 5-micron filter that lasts up to a year, and each machine lasts 25 to 30 years. Simply attach to your faucet or install under your sink. Even get a mineral spa unit for your shower. Go to ownyourwater.org to get a free ebook. Plus, pay for any machine in full and get an extra filter free. Change your water and change your life. Ownyourwater.org.
Hey, it's me, Mrs. Hibby. Check out Vern on TikTok at You Have Me Hooked. She's amazing. And everything she makes on TikTok, she sells at You Have Me Hooked 23 at Etsy. So you can watch her make it, and she'll make personalized stuff. So if you have an idea, like I would like this thing made, she can make it. She can make anything. She's an incredible artist. Check her out at You Have Me Hooked on TikTok and You Have Me Hooked 23 on Etsy.
Hey, thanks for chilling and smoking with us on WTHC.
I just want to give a huge shout out to Chuck over at Collins Painting LTD. You can find him over on Facebook. They're in Ellensville, New York. Wow, what a great team over there. Really amazing, and always supporting us here over at WTHC.
Hi, everybody. It's your buddy Mudstick back once again. Who's ready to get high with me? I like getting high. I like getting high. If I see you walking by with a tear in your eye, I'ma say, let's go get high. I like getting high. I like getting high. If I see you walking by with a tear in your eye, I'ma say, let's go get high. Walking down the road, I'm feeling so good, I wanna dance and take off my pants, jump in the river. I'ma make your liver quiver, and I'll give you this chillum that'll put you in a trance. Hot dog, pollywog, you're a really funny frog. Let's all go to the jamboree, dance a jig, jump on stage. You can play my tambourine. My trampoline goes bouncy bounce. I'm about to smoke an ounce. I don't give a flying fuck if you think I'm too silly. Last night I had your girlfriend dancing on my willy. My friends are hillbillies, but they ain't from California, and I really better warn you that we all get high. So if you come around, we'll smoke you down. I don't drink and drive, but I smoke and fly. I like getting high. I like getting high. If I see you walking by with a tear in your eye, I'ma say, let's go get high. I like getting high. I like getting high. If I see you walking by with a tear in your eye, I'ma say, let's go get high. I need some fire. Pass me that lighter. I'm about to get all of y'all higher. Burn a snaky bush that'll make you feel good. Drink the sticky muck when you're rolling through your neighborhood. Hey, you're good at making fun time songs. Thanks, I appreciate the compliment. But if you keep dancing on my leg like that, I'ma have to go camping and pop a tip. Ketchup is my favorite condiment. You can sit around and ponder it. I'ma keep on talking, and tomorrow morning I'll be wondering where the ganja went. It's all to the goody good. Let's get stoned. Then you can pet my snake. Tomorrow morning when we wake up, night, I'ma say let's wake and bake. 'Cause I like getting hot. Come on, I like getting hot. If I see you walking by with a tear in your eye, I'ma say let's go get hot. Everybody now, I like getting hot. I like getting hot. If I see you walking by with a tear in your eye, I'ma say let's go get hot. I like getting hot. I like getting hot. If I see you walking by with a tear in your eye, I'ma say let's go get hot.
WTHC. Good morning, everybody. Happy 420 to you guys over there in the UK. We love you guys. Unfortunately, my timing was way off, and it is now going to be 420 in a couple seconds, and we're late. But we can't play another song. We got to get back to hanging with DoktorHigh.
Early.
Yeah, early. My timing was off. I apologize. We should have talked for another minute or so before I played the commercial. I even tried to play extra commercials. I was like, let me get everybody in. Everybody, let's go. But we still didn't do it. Anyway, happy 420 to you guys over there in the UK. You know we love you, and we will smoke again in a little while. Until then, let's get back at it, DoktorHigh. I have some stories if we need them, but if you have something you'd like to discuss or if you want to ask.
I see that there are a couple of states that one state, I think it's Virginia, is now going after these hemp-derived products. Or no, I'm sorry, Arkansas is going after Delta products and are introducing a new bill that will make even the hemp-derived ones. So hemp manufacturers in Arkansas are actually trying to sue against this law, saying that they've invested a lot of money into making products for that are compliant and legal. And now
that doesn't sound like your dog.
Yeah, he's upstairs.
Oh, I was gonna say he doesn't sound as ferocious today.
I don't know who he's barking at.
Who's he killing upstairs? There might be somebody coming through a window up there, buddy.
Hopefully it's not.
Do you have other pets? Is he like chasing a cat or something?
No, but my wife's up there, so she could be playing with him.
Oh, okay. Well, tell her to knock it off.
I'm surprised you could even hear that.
Oh, I hear everything. I can hear you fart, sir.
He's got a big bark, that dog.
Yeah, no, he doesn't sound as ferocious way up there though.
Yeah,
I thought maybe you were watching your brother's dog or something. I heard something like a tiny. It sounded like a little dog. Anyway, so go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I don't even remember what Arkansas.
Yeah,
Arkansas. So they're going after them there. So these people are saying that we've invested a lot of money in making products that are compliant, even though they're manipulated products. They're still legal. So now they're saying you shouldn't be making them illegal. So that'll be interesting to see how it plays out. And Virginia has been doing some testing and checking the products that are in the marketplace to see if, in fact, they are what they are supposed to be, what they're tested to be.
Uh-oh.
And I'm going to actually pull up the story so I don't
misquote,
but pretty interesting.
I'm sure, because we've already discussed this in the past, right?
Yep. And it's not. So where were we at here? Virginia. It cracks down on attempts. Okay. Here we go. So several Virginia businesses have been hit with 5-figure fines this month as state officials start enforcing stricter new rules on the contents and labeling of hemp products, trying to crack down on the alternatives to marijuana. The Virginia Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services has sent 5 non-compliance letters assessing penalties ranging from $13,000 to $97,500. So let's see why. The largest fine so far was sent to a store in Southwest Virginia's Gate City called Tobacco Discount. Of the 36 impermissible products that the inspector said they found, 27 had concentrations of intoxicating THC above the 0.3% legal limit. Others contained synthetic forms of marijuana or had labels that bore a significant likeness to mainstream snack brands, particularly cereal bars like Lucky Marshmallow and Berry Crunch. Many of the products were tested were gummies and cereal bars labeled as containing D8. What's that?
You mean those are fake?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. All this time the hippie's been telling you dumbasses they're fake. The candy bars,
finding
the shit is
26
fake.
violations at the business, ranging from paperwork, labeling, and ingredient problems to a heavy accumulation of dead insects and insect fragments.
Oh, good.
Yep.
Oh my God, here it is. My nightmare is coming true right now.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't buy it anywhere anymore.
Yeah, so that's what's going on. And they're
that's just in
increasing.
Virginia, right?
They're
Not
adding
all over.
15 positions to the regulatory body that oversees this. So they're adding 15 new inspectors.
So
They've
just Virginia, right?
Just Virginia. They've upped the budget for implementation of these inspections by $2.2 million.
Can I ask you a question? Did they mention anything about the carts being from California?
Nope.
Or the drugs? I'm sorry, the marijuana or derived stuff.
No,
okay,
they
because
didn't-
a lot of everybody's always like, "Oh, this is good though. This is from California," and I'm like, I don't give a fuck. It's got a Monopoly dude on the front of it. I'm not buying your cart with a Monopoly dude on the front of it.
So this is what they've done. A law that came into effect a month ago imposes new limits on how much THC hemp products can contain. Trying to exempt hemp-based CBD products from running afoul of the law, the products must now have a 25-to-1 ratio of CBD to THC. So that means it's almost impossible to get the THC in the product in any way, shape, or form that'll work.
Oh,
Yep. So that was an interesting story.
that's freaking amazing, crazy. Oh my God, hippie was right story.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not good. There was a good one here.
And I'm sure it's not just West Virginia. I mean, Virginia.
Well, Arkansas is cracking down too, right?
Oh,
That's
no,
why-
but I'm saying just the bad products that you're getting from these people that you don't know what you're getting.
That's the problem, right? And that's what having this gray market does.
And that's what I'm going to say right now, really quick. And I don't, no offense to all those dudes, but I just picked up, like 4,000 new friends in the last 2 days because I did something wrong on my Facebook. But out of those 4,000 new friends or 3,000 new friends,
in 2 days?
Oh yeah. Oh, it's nonstop. I don't know what I did, but they're nonstop. But 99% of them are some sort of a marijuana distribution center,
Oh, it seems like you made it onto the list.
or a mushroom dispensary distribution center. We'll call them, not dispensaries, because I don't know if they are legit dispensaries, but we'll call them distribution centers for lack of better words. So, every one of them's writing to me, "Hey, what's up? You need pounds of weed? I got it. You need Xanax? I got it. You need illegal cards? I got it. You need this? I got it." And then when they tell me that, then I delete them, then I know that they're no longer a legal dispensary or anything that I'm interested in.
Telegram link.
Right, not that. They send me Telegram links. But they, not that I have anything against them. Everybody's got to make a living, but I'm looking for legit companies, like we said.
Yeah, we're not interested.
It's
not that we're not interested. It's that we can't promote it. We're not against your hustle. We just can't.
Yeah,
promote
love the hustle.
Sadly
Always
enough, you know what I
always
mean?
been a fan of you. Yeah, always been a fan of you. You've always been one of my friends. That shady guy on the corner, always been there for me. You've been there for me. but now I have to do it by the law, and unfortunately, I can't be hanging with you shady dudes that often.
So here's a good story from.
You want me to try your stuff? I'm not against it. Send it to the hippie P.O. Box. No, I'm just kidding.
So Brain and Life magazine, under the section of disease management, pain, new article just out. Can medical marijuana ease chronic pain?
No.
It says some studies suggest that cannabinoid compounds in cannabis or marijuana, such as CBD and THC, can be effective alternative to opioids in managing pain, including neuropathic pain.
Oh, really?
But cannabinoids can be associated with significant adverse effects, including sedation, euphoria. Now, euphoria is an adverse effect. Since when is euphoria or feeling good an adverse effect?
Oh my God, damn it. I feel good again.
Cognitive dysfunction and paranoia.
Damn this marijuana making me feel good.
I know, isn't that a stupid statement in a lot of ways? Euphoria
Like
as an adverse effect.
Oh
Sorry,
my
I feel
God.
good. That's no good. We don't want the people feeling good. Keep them
Oh
down.
my God, that is an adverse effect.
Oh,
Please
that's
come
bullshit.
down. Calm down. Let us give you some pills so you calm down.
It says right now the evidence seems to say that CBD offers marginal relief with clear side effects. So I'd be cautious about using it. It doesn't say anything about the clear side effects here except for those. And this is a professor of neurology at the University of Michigan. One study presented at the American Headache Society in June 2023 showed that a THC CBD mix taken as 4 puffs of vaporized flower was effective in treating acute migraine. The dosage relieved or eliminated pain in some patients and resolved the most bothersome symptoms, such as nausea and sensitivity to light and sound, 2 hours after the attack. These results look promising, but this is not what we would recommend for everybody, he says. We looked at cannabinoids as a one-time acute treatment, not to prevent a migraine and not for daily use. Cannabinoids are potentially addictive, and we still don't know a lot about them.
Dr. High, can I do it?
Do what?
Tell me his name. I'm going to call his ass out and have him come up on the show if he hears us.
Nathaniel M. Schuster, MD, Associate Professor of Anesthesiology at UC San Diego Center for Pain Medicine.
Come on down, mother trucker.
Yeah.
We'll talk to you about your dumbassery.
Here we go. Now there are some positives for cannabinoids, says Jennifer W. McViege, MD, a specialist in adult and pediatric headache at the Dent Neurologic Institute in Amherst, New York.
Now
They do
she's
not suppress respiration like opioids and benzodiazepines can, and they don't affect the gut like NSAIDs, non-steroidal, whatever they're called, anti-inflammatory drugs. That's what NSAID is.
It's so much better when you read the stories.
Yeah. So you don't have stomach side effects. Overuse can cause hypersensitivity reaction with cyclic vomiting, but that is rare. That's cannabis hypermemesis symptom. Syndrome. It says there is a place for it in pain management, but setting up rigorous trials is difficult to do under current laws. As we talked about before, legalization, trials, evidence, medication.
Right.
Overall, more research, although challenging to conduct, may show how and if cannabinoids can help people with chronic pain.
I can tell you they do. They do, because
There are
I'm
a
in
lot.
pain 24 hours a day, and then when I get up in the morning, I'm no longer in pain. I smoke some weed. I'm not in pain for a little while.
Well,
and then the pain starts to come back, and then and then the pain goes.
Yeah, there are a lot of people that prove it, right? There's a lot of people out there that are using cannabis to deal with a lot of different things.
And I'm not just saying physical pain. What about the mental pain? You start to think about things. You start to feel a little depressed. You're starting to get a little depressed. Then you look over and you're like, oh, there's my flower and my bong. I'm happy. And I smoke a bong and then I feel happy. And I'm no longer thinking about those sad things, those depressing things, because I have my bong and my weed and I'm medicine, I'll call it. And I'm happy, you know? It's just it's stupidity that they're shouting. I mean, that girl seemed to know what she was saying, you know.
Well, you know, like there's I don't quite understand it because there's enough kind of anecdotal evidence, let's say. And really, whose opinion matters the most, the patient or the doctor? If the patient says that this is improving their quality of life or making them feel better,
that's it.
Then
that's what it's all about. Quality of life.
Yeah, exactly.
Quality of life. If I want to die, I want to die high. I don't want to be in pain. You know, if you can give me more, then that's fine. Like if I'm really in pain and I'm having, you know, I'm suffering from severe cancer and I'm going any day now, then shoot me up with the morphine, you know, whatever. But, you know, in the meantime, I'm going to fight that nausea. I'm going to fight that shit with the weed, man. It's what it's all about.
Yeah. You know, so really, that's his opinion. When push comes to shove, it should be the only opinion that matters. It's the patient's opinion.
Right. It shouldn't be anybody else's. Right.
No, because the doctor should be following it. If somebody says, you know, doctor, I think I'm going to try some cannabis to alleviate my symptoms, then the doctor should make note of that in the file. And if he can prescribe it, perhaps he should prescribe it to keep those people on the legal side of things and give them proper access just based upon their desire to want to try. And then at the next appointment, the doctor should be saying, so let's talk about your experience with cannabis. Has it made any positive impact on...
And they should be taking research.
Or that, or what are your...
They should be taking that as research. No, wouldn't you think they should be taking that as research?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
handing it in somewhere so that people have, you know, every month I have this many people who are now using cannabis and their results are up or down depending on, you know, what it is.
They simply have to ask,
they're all going to be up. I'm not going to say they're all going to be up, but
listen, there are some medical conditions that can be measured, right? Like tumor growth, like there are things that they can actually measure.
My aneurysm, yeah, they're measuring.
Like they diagnose it based upon tests or whatever they do. But there's a lot about medicine, such as pain medicine and stuff like that, where it's really based upon feedback from the patient, right? Because they can't prove it. Lower back pain, they can't prove whether you have it or whether you don't. They can't prove the level of pain that you experience or don't experience. So these things have to come from the patient. Therefore, the doctor should really be considering the patient's input when determining whether or not cannabis can be beneficial for them in their course of treatment.
Right. All right. Not to cut you off, but say 10 years ago, say I walked into the doctor and I don't know, I got a sprained ankle, a pretty bad, severe sprained ankle.
Right.
And 10 years ago, I could have said to them, no, don't worry about it. I don't need those Percocets or that Tylenol with codeine. I smoke marijuana and that takes care of my pain and I don't need it. But instead, they made me take those Percocets home. They made me take that Tylenol with codeine. And of course, as the years have gone on, it's gotten worse and they're handing out even worse drugs to people. But, you know, I can tolerate the pain, you know. All right, the pain starts and it's bad. Okay, I have a sprained ankle or a twisted ankle, whatever, you know. I mean, there's times where you're going to need that other pain medication. Like when I had the compound fracture of my leg, you know, they were like, no, weed's not going to help you, buddy. You need some medication. And I'm like, no, I don't want your Oxycontins. Take them and shove them up your ass. And they were like, no, you're going to need them. We'll tie you down and make you take them if we have to, because your leg is broken in half, sir, and you're going to be in pain. And I'm like, all right, whatever, I'll take them. But as soon as possible, I want off of all of these prescription, you know, pain pills.
Yes.
And they fought me on it. And, you know, and I ended up having to be on them until after I got out of the hospital. And it was bullshit. But my point being is that 10 years ago, and I don't even know where my point went. Fuck. It's gone.
About doctors not being able to make the assessment without patient feedback.
Right. Well, right. If they were listening to us and saying, I don't need that pill, like my point, I guess, is that, weed, it might not, and you can smoke more, like, so you say, oh, weed doesn't work for me that first time, you tried it. It didn't work for me. I didn't get high. You didn't smoke enough, or you didn't try, you had bad stuff. You got to try it more than once. You have to.
Listen, if the doctor gives you a high blood pressure pill, do you go home and take one? And then the next day say, well, I didn't feel any different. So,
right. You have to take it every day. Right. What's the truth to that?
You have to do a proper course of action. What do you mean, truth to what?
To the old adage, I don't even know if that's the right word, but the old thing saying that, the first couple times you don't really get high, Well,
I just think you don't know I think you just don't know what you're supposed to experience.
I mean, I feel like the first time I smoked, I didn't get high. I was like, I feel fine. I don't know what.
So long ago, I don't remember.
Right, but I feel like it was Christmas tree, like it tasted like a Christmas tree. It didn't taste right. And now I think about it now, and I'm like, it probably wasn't real weed. It was probably
a whole lot different back then.
Right, it was probably oregano or something.
40
we probably got
years ago, the weed wasn't what it is today.
Absolutely,
sure.
Absolutely. I saw a picture today, made me laugh. A little dime bag with a piece of brickweed cut up in there with seeds.
And that little fish scale with the silver weight on the end. And,
I still got that. It's right there. I have one right there.
That's
I still have that scale. Yeah, I'll never give it up.
Thank you, Chris. You sent me that email. I'll check that after the show. I appreciate that. I'll be looking to get store up there for you. Yeah, I used to notice in your profile picture that you could see a tattoo, but I never was able to read what it says. So it's Jimi Hendrix lyrics. Nice. Yeah, I like tattoo and rock and roll stuff on my body myself. I got Eddie right over here from Iron Maiden. I got a Rolling Stones tongue on the back of my neck. So I got a few.
Mine aren't as tough as you guys. Mine are a little more mellow. My rock and roll ones. I have the Grateful Dead bolt on one of my arms, and then my whole other arm is Jimmy Buffett. So it's a big tribute to Jimmy Buffett.
So and it's like pelicans and pika and parrots.
Oh no, not pelicans, but yes, peacocks. Now you got me saying it. Parrots and pirates and boats and beautiful sexy
Key West vibe,
women. Yeah, and surfboards, and it's all it's like a whole sleeve of just Jimmy Buffett songs. There's like lyrics written on. There's like it's like a search and play. You can look around and you find hidden things like that lost shaker of salt is hidden somewhere in my tattoo, and you can find it if you look hard enough.
You should have tattooed it on your thigh.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
I said if it's search and play, you should have tattooed it on your thigh.
Yeah, right. They'd be searching for days, dude. I don't know if you've seen.
That's funny.
All right, I gotta start setting up commercials. Well, let's wrap that segment up, I guess.
More commercials.
Yeah, the fucking time flies.
All right. Do what you gotta do.
We'll be back. You're hanging with Hippie and DoktorHigh.
Hey, it's me, Mrs. Tidby. Check out Vern on TikTok at You Have Me Hooked. She's amazing. And everything she makes on TikTok, she sells at You Have Me Hooked 23 at Etsy. So you can watch her make it, and she'll make personalized stuff. So if you have an idea, like I would like this thing made, she can make it. She can make anything. She's an incredible artist. Check her out at You Have Me Hooked on TikTok and You Have Me Hooked 23 on Etsy.
Okay, men, this is your time. Maybe you didn't choose this, but you're here now.
Welcome in, everybody. Thank you so much. Make sure you're pounding that like button. Make sure you're pounding that share button.
So what are you going to do?
I don't know where any of them are. I watch people on YouTube every day.
Either emotionally and physically.
Pound that like button. I'm like, I don't see a fucking like button.
Doctor's appointments.
I try to comment, and it gives me a hard time.
Because
I don't know.
That's what
caregivers do.
figure it out,
please. And if you figure it out, let me know.
Don't ever give up
Because I'd like to like
This is
some
your
of the
time
friends that I follow
to show the
but
world,
I can't figure
your
it. I can only
family,
like it that one
and
time
yourself
out in the front. And I'm like, that
that you're tougher than tough.
It doesn't seem like I'm pounding the like button.
And
You
be
need
the
to
best
pound that
caregiver
like
this world
button
has ever
so people
seen.
come over and watch and be like, what the fuck are these guys
Caregiving
pounding
is
that
tougher than
like
tough.
button for?
Find the care guides you need at
Oh, it's the
aarp.org/caregiving.
hippie and DoktorHigh.
Public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Don't mind me, I'm
Hi, I'm Danica Patrick and proud aunt.
That's the
Watching my
bad thing
nieces
about
grow,
having a
play,
card
and
over
learn
here
is
is
amazing.
I have a little
but not
more
every
access
child
to the
gets to be
weed.
carefree. 1 in 6 kids in the U.S. are hungry. 1 in 6.
Oh, I hung out with my
That little
buddy
girl sitting
Buzz
alone at
last
the
night
playground,
on TikTok
she can't
for a
play
while.
like the other kids. She
Okay.
doesn't have the
Had
energy
a good
because she's
time.
hungry. School lunch will be her only meal today.
Well,
It
Gigi,
breaks my
hi,
heart that
Gigi,
this is the
live
reality
on
in our country,
YouTube.
but it's something that Feeding America is working to change.
I love WTHC
Each year, the Feeding
Radio
America
too.
network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste. This food is then provided to families
Live?
and children in need.
Where's Gianna
Really,
live?
it should be about using your
She's live,
imagination,
I guess, on
learning, and
YouTube
having
somehow.
fun. These children shouldn't have to miss out on simply being a kid
She's
because they're
sharing our
hungry.
show on her
To find
YouTube.
out how you
Who's
can
live
help
with
end
us?
childhood hunger in your community, visit
don't know.
feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Say bye-bye to bottled water.
Make sure
Holistic
you guys
Health
are
Water has
following
certified
us.
medical
Pick us
grade
both
water
up
ionizers that
somehow.
make
I
7
don't
types
know.
of water,
Whatever
including
you
healthy
gotta do.
alkaline. There's
We
a
gotta get
5
more
micron filter
followers,
that
more
lasts up to a year, and
subscribers, more
each machine lasts
likers, more
25 to
pounding
30
of that
years.
like button.
Simply attach to your faucet or install under your sink. Even get a mineral spa
I don't
unit for
even
your
hang out on
shower.
TikTok. Once
Go
in a
to
blue moon, I go to
yourwater.org
TikTok.
to get a free ebook.
GG.
Plus,
I don't
pay
even
for
like it.
any machine in full and get an extra filter free. Change your water and change your life. Ownyourwater.org.
We are back! Woohoo! It's the hippie and DoktorHigh. Welcome in, everybody. Uh-oh, I'm being too loud. It's coming in on your side over there. It's echoing. I got to calm down. I'm so excited. It's been a great show. We've had a lot of great conversation today. I feel like they're always a great show. Is that what you said?
No, I said we froze.
Yeah, that's why I was just smacking you upside the head
Face,
every time you see me
shut,
do it.
wide eyes. What does
Yeah,
that mean?
I think that's when they make like an emoji and it just doesn't show us the emoji. It just shows what they would have been.
Is
No,
that
no.
really what that does?
Yeah, so it's like
Alrisha puts
it's like
sometimes when she comes into the room and it shows that, and I'm like, what does
what
that
the
mean?
hell is she talking about? That crazy little Alrisha.
I'm old, man. I just don't understand. Face fuchsia, eyes wide eyes. Hand pink waving. Like,
See, that's a hand pink waving. It's not a brown hand, so it's probably a
send
white
us the
person.
eggplant. Let's see what it says. Hey,
Elbow,
send us an
elbow
eggplant.
floss.
Let's see what it says.
Yeah, eggplant. Penis picture.
Is that the eggplant? Elbow cough?
Thanks, Doc. I never seen a thanks, Doc.
Is that what it says when you send the eggplant? Thanks, Doc. That's
Wow.
funny. Not the first time I heard that, you know.
As you were walking out the door, you're welcome, young lady. This was before you met Mrs. DoktorHigh.
Yes, or perhaps
Yeah.
I'm talking about her.
Oh, and her. Oh, true. You've only been the doc. You've only been the doc a couple years, so yeah, it must be her.
Actually, I got the
Oh, the
original-
eggplant. They don't even. It comes right up. They're like, we're not even going to try to explain this one. They show an eggplant. Look, Doc. What the fuck?
Oh, it shows that one. It doesn't give us.
Now there's water. What the hell?
One gives a face fuchsia poop shape. Like, what the hell is that? One squirts.
Face fuchsia
Wow.
shape.
A person turquoise waving. This is entirely
This is like guessing game. We could play a guessing game over here and win prizes. You guys give us prizes.
play it
We
with
figure
us.
it out. Face red,
shape.
heart shape. I don't know.
That's some funny shit, man. Wow.
I'm too high for this shit, man. Stop.
You're talking about it's been a couple of years since I was DoktorHigh. Actually, on my fridge, I have the original piece of paper that my boss made when I worked at Inhale Nation. But he called me Dr. David Johnson, would explain how all natural cannabis can help with chronic pain. And he had put this poster up in the store. We're
Is
like
it
a little
always DOKTOR?
Yeah, he did it the original way. And then we were laughing about it afterwards, and somebody said, no, it should be Dr. High. And it's like, and that's where it started.
Dr.
He started calling me Dr. High.
So I'll tell you my story. I was a puppet. I was a puppet, and I've always been tie-dye T or DaHippie, tie-dye T. And then I started out with a puppet that was tie-dye T, and he broke a little. He's still alive, and he just needs some touch-ups and some love. I just haven't really had time. And then
Badger Heart puppetry.
But no, he doesn't even need to go. He doesn't even need to go to Badger Heart. He just needs some accessories. He needs some new glasses. I was
just taking advantage of the opportunity.
Oh yeah, Badger. I love Badger Heart. He's actually building me a new hippie puppet that will be the actual hippie puppet eventually. But so long story short, tie-dye T ended up getting put down, and the hippie was born. And then the hippie just took off, and I was like, well, I guess tie-dye T will sit over there until another day. And then so now I'm the fat guy over here is technically tie-dye T, and I guess I'm the hippie.
And you're the hippie. Yeah, exactly.
But everybody calls the fat guy the hippie, and he's okay with it. He likes it. The hippie is a cool name.
Yeah, it works.
And over on our Discord, I'm the sticky hippie.
Oh,
because of my sticky. Everybody's got like sticky names because of my sticky. So I'm the sticky hippie. Yeah. DJ Sticky Hippie in the house.
That's funny.
I'm not going to tell you why I'm sticky.
Well, I would assume it has something to do with jam or jelly.
No, my pants.
Your pants.
Yeah. Anyway.
Conversation that I knew.
Whatever.
So Biden's Veterans Administration continues policy of blocking doctors from recommending medical marijuana to veterans in an updated directive. Reaffirms its doctors are prohibited from issuing medical cannabis recommendations to military veterans patients.
I was going to say patients or veterans.
No, veterans, the patients who are veterans.
Yeah. No, veterans, I don't understand that.
They're expressly forbidding
if they were like hurt in action and they're going back to action, I don't know if they should be getting weed, whatever. But I still say if you're fucking crazy enough to go and join into the military and put your life on the line and you're fucking 18 years old, you should be able to smoke as much fucking weed as you want. Fuck you fucking shit.
Let me ask you this question. If in your local recruiting office, the sign on the wall said, sign up here, go and fight for oil and for economic reasons for companies in the United States and perhaps give your life for no money, how many guys would sign up?
Not me.
I don't think any would. But what they tell them is come and be a patriot. Come fight for the freedom of the American people and our way of life. Bullshit. Right. Come fight for oil. Come fight for, you know what I mean? Things that have nothing to do with American freedom because I haven't seen any ships on the U.S. border in a long time.
Don't even get me started.
Maybe the Canadians are going to invade.
Did I?
You know what I mean? Like,
good golly, I hope not. You guys even have an army up there?
You know what I mean? And these guys give their lives for nothing. A lot of times, like not for nothing. I mean, that minimalizes.
Absolutely not. Don't minimalize it. Absolutely.
It's kind of the wrong word to put, but they're led into this situation under kind of a false flag, under the false flag of patriotism, and this is why these boys joined, and this is why they.
I would be the first to say, empty our prisons out with all those pedos. And they are the first to go. First in line. Pedo army.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit if they turn around and run. Shoot them in the head.
Give them no training.
No training. Just drop them in and start shooting. And if you live, maybe we'll bring you back. Maybe we'll bring you back.
Yeah.
Fuckers, pedos.
No, it's a really sad thing. And then you got these doctors denying them access to the safest potential medication they can use.
Empty half our prisons with those freaks.
Well, I wouldn't say the numbers are that high, but they're there.
Well, yeah, all right, but then you take the next ones that have been convicted and proven 100% guilty that they are the ones that did it, and they're the next ones that go for murder and for killing people. You know, and then we get down to and we empty out the weed people that don't belong there for fucking stupid weed rules, and then look, our jails are empty. We could turn them into colleges and universities and stuff.
Yeah, but then they wouldn't know what to do with the vets that come back. See, almost all the corrections officers are ex-military. Almost every single one.
Oh yeah, I agree.
They need jobs, right?
And police. You come out of the military, you go right into the police force.
So if you start, like let's say they get smart and decide to decriminalize all drugs, to give safe access to the bad ones and take those societal harms away, then what do they do with all those people in law enforcement and in corrections? And now these people don't have jobs.
Train them.
They're not going backwards. Well, they've already been trained, but the thing is you train them to kill and conduct war, and then they come back to the States and they suffer with PTSD and stuff like this, and bad things happen.
And then they're quick to pull their trigger.
Yeah, and they're quick to lock them up. They're quick to lock them up. They're quick to lock up
or beat them, or beat them,
or beat them,
kill them. I'll put my knee on their neck and kill them. I'm just using examples, but I don't know you don't know if they were in the military or not. I have no clue if any of them were part of it, but you go to the military and you change. I have several friends who were normal, great, and they're still normal and great, but they're different. You know what I mean?
But they change you on purpose. See, we've all seen the movies with basic training, right? The way they're hard on these guys, they break them down. The whole intention is to break them mentally and then rebuild them, remold them in the military way. So that's why all this harshness goes on in the early stages of basic training when you first join up. It's designed to break you mentally, to break your spirit, to break your independence, so they can rebuild you as a team member, a confident team member who will step in front of that bullet for his buddy, the guy next to him. They'll build loyalty into him. They'll build discipline into him. And these are really good qualities to have later on in life. They really are. But they're also training you to kill.
Right. I mean, I don't disagree. I'm not saying the military is wrong and bad. I'm not saying, it's needed for some people. It's needed. It's needed to get them to straighten their asses out.
These poor guys are utilized in the wrong way. Like really Afghanistan, right? Who cares about Afghanistan? What does anybody in Afghanistan do for anybody in Canada, the United States? Anything? Is there any reason at all that we would want to have our young men dying for something in Afghanistan? Is there a reason for this? No. But Afghanistan is extremely rich in resources.
I mean, a human life overall. I don't like any dictator or any person who treats their country or their, I think that's fucked up, and if we have the ability to help them, I don't want to help them. I would much rather be able to help them verbally or whatever, but I mean, I'm not against helping world, whatever. Go ahead.
No, but the thing is do you want your neighbor's son dying over there for this?
No, I'm totally against that.
You know what I mean? That's
no, but I'm still going back to the pedos and the murderers.
But the whole point is that if no American ever set foot in Afghanistan, so what? You know what I mean? So what? What happens? How does it affect you? Is somebody in Scranton, Pennsylvania in danger? Oh, they'll say they're in danger from terrorists. Well, come on. Going into Afghanistan, the ones in Afghanistan aren't the ones you got to worry about. It's the ones who snuck into America. Those are the terrorists you got to worry about. You got to tighten up your borders and stop it there, right? And through immigration and stuff. The terrorist in Afghanistan is not going to hurt somebody in New York City. He can't. You know what I mean? It's the terrorist in New York City that's going to hurt somebody in New York City. It's a terrorist who's entered the United States that's going to do the harm. So why are we sending soldiers outside of the United States to fight terrorism? Where's the logic?
I didn't make that choice. I don't know.
You know what I mean? So.
Oh yeah, I get it. I hear what you're saying, but you know, it's all about those guys. That's all about those guys we vote for, right? I guess.
Yeah, but this all started because we were talking about how the Veterans Administration is doing the servicemen wrong, right?
Doing our veterans who deserve to have the quality of life that they deserve. I mean, they should have the best quality of life. That's the final.
And, you know, let's say that on a philosophical level, there are countries that are the same, right? United States, Canada, Great Britain, France, Germany. These countries on a philosophical level are quite similar, right? So Canada provides its veterans with cannabis freely if they are diagnosed with a condition that can benefit from the use of cannabis, such as PTSD, anxiety, depression, head injuries from events that have occurred in battle, chronic pain. So Canadian veterans have complete access to cannabis. Not only do they pay for the cannabis, but they'll pay for the vaporizers to smoke the cannabis with. You know what I mean? So a country that's of the same intellectual level as the United States is doing that for its veterans. You have the Veterans Administration saying, no, can't do it. To the doctors.
So then how do you even say that we're on the same level? We're so far behind.
Well,
it's ridiculous.
Because I'm just saying, like,
because you're talking about all those other countries you were speaking of are all also ahead of us with a lot of the different things that we're having issues with here in our country.
Yeah.
You know, like they're with gun control, with marijuana, with healthcare,
that's a sad truth.
With school, with
late,
schooling, right? With college, with healthcare, with everything. We're behind because we can't get along.
Well, it's because it's a system designed to deceive.
Right.
You know, it's like with guns, right? It's too far. It's too far gone. You can never rein it in now in the U.S. Number one, it's built into your Constitution, the right to bear arms. But number two, there are so many firearms already in the United States that no matter what you do, you'll never get them off the streets.
You'll never get them out.
You'll never be able to get them off the streets. And every day, and this really blows my mind, but in the U.S., every single day is a mass shooting. On many days, there are more than one.
We have more. The last time I looked, it was already into the more days in the year.
Yeah, I think it was
we weren't even halfway through the year. There was already 365. There was already 365 mass shootings in the United States at the halfway point through the year.
Yep. Crazy, right?
Absolutely fucking nuts.
So.
And that's why I have a fear of going out now. I went to this festival last weekend and I was freaking the freak out. And now I just started freaking myself out about the next one. Great.
No, but those are the places you have to be on vigilant.
Yeah.
That's where they go. Like look at Vegas, that big concert where the guy was shooting from the hotel.
Right.
This is exactly the kind of environment that'll be targeted. You know?
Well, I'm hoping that it's a whole bunch of hippies, but it's, and we're all going to get stoned and have a good time and nobody's going to be crazy violent, but this is the risk I have to take now, right? We got to live. This is the country we want to live in, everybody. This is what we chose.
I tell you, here in Canada, this is not a consideration. If I want to go to a festival or an event or a street party or whatever.
You got to watch out for the crazy guy with the knife. Maybe.
Well, there's some events I wouldn't go to. I wouldn't go to a big hip hop festival. I wouldn't go to some of those events, right? Because these are where these things happen, So I would avoid certain types of events, but
they can happen anywhere. I mean, that was a country festival, I think, or a country concert.
That one was, That one was.
I mean, it don't matter. Crazy's crazy, and if they're gonna do it, they're gonna do it. It don't matter where you're at. They go into little schools and shoot up little kids. Today's something big going on with that one down in Parkland in Florida today. I know I heard that shit on the news. That's fucking horrible. They're opening up the school for the first time in 5 years. Nobody's been in. The blood stains are still on the floor. Those poor families are going to go into the first time for 5 years after their kids were all shot. 17 of them on Valentine's Day 5 years ago today, or not today. Obviously, it's not Valentine's Day, but it's just fucking nuts. It's nuts. Anyway, what do you want to do? We got 12 o'clock. Usually we're wrapping up, but if you're sticking around, we can keep talking.
No, I was on a good flow here before we got going. I'm doing some work today. I think I'm going to get some work done.
All right. Awesome.
Are we quiet? We still got a lot of people with us?
We still have 5 or 6 up there hanging with us, and we had some great numbers today. Absolutely, for not being on Facebook.
It was fun.
Yeah,
I'm curious to get to Chris's email and read what he had to write. Get rid of the forest commercial.
Yeah, that forest one. Her grandson, every time he hears it, he wants to go to the forest, and she's like, "I'm not taking you to the forest. It's a commercial." He wants to go up on the big rock and see those little minnows in the water and rescue his cousin from a big sea monster. Yeah. He's like, I love that.
That's
commercial.
Funny.
He's only 4 or so, right? So that's
well, that's the joy of being
real. That's real life. Yeah, that's real life.
If we could only still retain that sense of wonder and imagination, right?
We can with mushrooms.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna find out. And actually,
of course,
Mom owns the store on the West Coast. She actually travels the world. She spent a lot of time in Borneo and places like that. She knows a lot about ethnobiology and plant-based medicine. That's what she specializes in. Kratom is actually one of her big specialties. So we're going to be able to talk about kratom. We're going to be able to shrooms. We'll be able to talk about some interesting. We'll be able to get a lot of questions answered. She said it's going to be a week or 2 before she can get it into her schedule. And I didn't realize why, but she's a very busy person doing a lot of things. So it should be extremely interesting when she does have the opportunity to join us, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell her I said thank you. And whenever she's available, we are here. Yeah, definitely. That's awesome. Yeah, this company, it's I don't know their official name. I haven't gotten my wife has been emailing them.
North, isn't it?
North Spores is what I wanted to say, but I didn't want to misquote it. So I'm going to say North Spores.
From Mississippi or from Tim?
It was originally from Tim, and then Mississippi and Tim spoke with them, and then Mississippi took over and set up the date. It's going to be the 25th. They don't sell mushrooms. Don't think that you're going to come here and buy mushrooms. They sell the kits and everything included, and they have tons of knowledge about mushrooms. And the
knowledge is what we want.
Right. So they are going to be a fantastic guest as well. And we're not competing. We love all mushroom people, and we love all cannabis people, even the ones that aren't a legitimate dispensary. Get your shit together. But that I heard a story. Was it us yesterday, or did I hear it after that, about all the smaller cannabis industries not going to be able to make it because of all these bigger ones? Was that us together?
That's what I was saying yesterday.
Yeah. So I mean, these little guys that are out there trying to sell their flower, what's going to happen to them when it finally goes federal?
They're going to have to focus on building a homegrown following. A local following, like let's say you're in the Seattle area, you're going to want to focus your product in Seattle or maybe just in Washington State. Like you're going to have to really narrow down so that you can keep your grow of a size that you can maintain that really high quality, but not get, because you're not going to be able to gain a reputation nationwide with such a small offering. So you're going to have to concentrate your business in your kind of geographic area or in one area so that you have the ability to build a brand following, a reputation.
Now, if it's a recreational state, okay, and I'm asking you personally, like if it's a recreational state and say said dude has decent weed, and he's not. I don't want dudes with guns, and I don't want dudes with the cards and the Xanax and all that. If you're a dispensary in a legal state, what's the rules against me doing a commercial for them?
If you are a legal dispensary, yes.
Well, what if they're just a legal person? They're just a person selling.
Well, because the thing is that it's not legal for everybody to sell cannabis, even in a legal state, right?
Oh, right.
I'm sure it's controlled distribution. The distribution center's got to be licensed. There's got to be, you know what I mean?
Is it though? Because I can walk into any smoke shop in New York and get weed nowadays. You just walk in and you're like, "Hey, where's the flower?" And they're like, "Oh, we have to go into the back room. Come on into the back room."
We talked about that article yesterday that said that the majority of dispensaries right now in New York State are not legal dispensaries.
Right.
There are people operating illegally, technically. Right. There's only a certain number of licensed dispensaries. So, yeah. But if the guy,
I would love to figure out, because they said what, 9 or 13, maybe between 9 and 13.
A dispensary is one of two things. It's either a physical building you can go into and purchase your cannabis, or it's an online business that has a fully functioning website, store, and shipping process. That's what makes somebody legit for the most part.
As a New Yorker, all my life, and I still, even though I've been in Pennsylvania 20 years, I still consider myself a New Yorker. As a New Yorker, I want to know, and they named 3 of them, right? Didn't they say like Organic Remedies and like two or three of the bigger cannabis dispensary weed growers, I guess you would call them, the flower people. 2 or 3 of them were the names of some of the big dispensaries. I would love to know the 9 dispensaries that I could go to in New York, so that I know when I'm going anywhere else, it's not a real dispensary. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, Google will tell you that.
Yeah. Could you Google that, or do you have your phone? I don't know what kind of shape we're in here.
Or do you have your phone? Absolutely.
Yeah, Google it and see, because Curly Kell is a New Yorker, and she got a medical card, and I'm not trying to call her out or anything, but she goes to this guy. They put a name on the front of their store. I guess it says dispensary or whatever, but she's going in and she's buying this stuff, but she ain't getting no label on there that says this is medicine. She ain't getting no label that says Curly Kell only. You know what I mean? But she went and bought a medical card. So she should be going to one of those 9 dispensaries. Hopefully one is in her general area, I would think. Everybody else is not really a dispensary. That's what I'm reading, right? That's what I'm understanding.
Yeah. New York City, or just New York State?
New York State. They said it was New York State, right? 9 in the whole state, or 13 in the whole state.
So New York, we'll leave it there. Are there legal dispensaries in New York? Only 5 of 9 of the legal dispensaries in New York City currently deliver. So in New York City, there are only 9 legal dispensaries.
9 legal dispensaries. Everybody listening? Curly Kell, you listening? What am I talking about? Right there. There's only 9 legal dispensaries in New York State.
Yeah.
In the whole state, and I'm guaranteeing that it's not in fucking Ellensville, New York.
So
please don't say
Democrat Chronicle. Where are they? The 9 dispensaries?
All right, you go to one. All right, sweetie, you go to one. I hope so. I hope you do. I really hope you do.
Yeah, I don't know.
But what's the odds of 9 of them in the whole fucking New York? It's the biggest fucking, one of the biggest states in the country.
Yeah.
What's the chances of it being one of the ones right next to your house, sister?
No, you never know. No, I think we took a look at Kell's dispensary one day online before.
Right. Right, but was it legal? Was it a legal one?
They had a properly set up website and everything done correct. So I would say
that doesn't mean anything. I'm not a
I'm
a legal radio station, but my website is shit.
Yeah, but to build a website like that, it's probably 50 grand. So they're either really, really serious about what they're doing or they're legal.
She goes to Hudson, New York.
Yeah. I looked at it.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
But
I don't know.
And that's the whole thing. Like, we're here to promote the industry, but we can't promote somebody who's just on Telegram or whatever, right? We got to make sure that we do it right, because we have opportunity to build something very interesting here.
All right. Yeah. Cureleaf may very well be one of the 9 that they mentioned, because Cureleaf is a big industry. I know that they actually sell here in Pennsylvania. So that makes me feel safer that Curly Kel. But there's a million other people in New York who don't have that legal dispensary right near them, and they're just buying shit from that smoke shop thinking they're getting weed, but they're getting fentanyl sprayed shit. They're getting gasoline and kerosene in their carts that have Monopoly dudes on the front of them. They're getting gummies that are made in my kitchen with my rats. You don't know what you're getting.
Yep, possibly, and that's the whole thing, right? Supplier,
right? Well, that's the whole thing. Goes right back. I didn't hear what you said because you froze, but good. Know your grower. Did you see the little Facebook thing I put up with the meatball Parmesan cart?
No. I did actually.
I wrote, know your grower, because you don't want no damn meatball Parmesan cart. You don't want a meatball Parmesan cart. That's not real.
No, you know what I mean? If you want to get the proper thing, if you're knowledgeable enough to shop flour from anybody, have at it. You know what I mean? Like, if you got the knowledge base, but if you don't have the knowledge base,
what you're talking about, walking up with a little thing on your finger and looking at the weed and saying, all right, I see the trichomes and I can tell what I'm looking at. And this is not hemp. This is flour.
Right. Gotta use, because those jeweler's loops, they'll have a white light and they'll have an ultraviolet light, a purple lamp, and that purple lamp will show you if there's any mold in the plant. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna have that. I swear to God, DoktorHigh, I am ordering one of them things. And when I go to any of the festivals where they're giving that stuff away or selling that stuff, I'm gonna pretend like I know what I'm doing. And maybe
it'll probably cost you, I'm going to say, between $15 and $20 on Amazon.
I won't know what I'm looking at, but I'm going to pull it up to my eye and I'm going to pretend like I know what I'm looking at. And they're going to be like, no, don't look at that. Put that down. That's
you want to know what you're looking at?
That's
Google close-up images of marijuana buds.
I've seen millions of them. I mean, I've seen millions of them, but I wouldn't know what the fuck one of them.
That's exactly what you want to see.
All right, but if it was hemp or CBD, would those things be missing?
Well, if it's heavy CBD, no, it looks the same. It's the trichrome is the same for CBD.
Right. See, so I still don't know what I'm
looking at. Same look. You won't know whether it's CBD or THC, but you know the way that cannabis has evolved, you can be 99.9% sure it's THC you're seeing and not CBD, unless you're looking at Charlotte's Web or Harlequin or ACDC or something like that. Or White Widow. Then you got to be thinking, oh, maybe it is CBD. But anything else, you should be thinking THC right off the rip. And it just has to look right. It has to be correct. And then you'll know. Because all those little glands are what you're paying for. You're not paying for the plant material. You're paying for the trichromes.
The good stuff. The good stuff, right?
Stuff that matters.
But now you're saying that if I walk up to one of those booths and they're selling CBD, I might still not know the difference, because even pretending like I'm looking through that thing, they're going to be like, oh, yeah, no, he still don't know if it's THC or CBD.
Well, you'd never know. I wouldn't know either.
Right. Well, that's what I thought I was going to know.
You can't tell without testing.
I thought I was going to trick them.
No, it's about the structure. Are the trichromes there or are they not there? Does the weed smell correct or is the smell diminished? Is it brittle and crispy? Is it like a loaf of fresh bread? They're you know what I mean? Do I see any visible mold in the bag or is there none? You know what I mean? Does it have a lingering smell of ammonia or cat piss to it, because that tells you that it was bagged too early while it was still wet? And ammonia, the smell of ammonia in your cannabis is a byproduct of the degradation of THC under not optimal conditions, under damp conditions. And if you've ever had a bag and it opened up and had a little bit of a smell of ammonia in there, guaranteed you've smelt that before.
Oh yeah.
So
I threw it away. I thought my cat pissed on it. I was like,
that's
"You
a negative
motherfucker!"
Remember, there are two strains of cannabis, one called cat piss and one called cheetah piss.
I've had cheetah piss.
Do smell like cat piss.
I had cheetah piss once, actually. I didn't smell it. I just smoked it.
Yep.
Yeah, here at the dispensary. I actually got it from a dispensary. I damn near shit myself when she said I got cheetah piss.
Yeah.
I was like, the fucking names they come up with nowadays. Cheetah piss. I'll take an eighth of cheetah piss, please.
There's a story behind that I was told. Excuse me. There's a story behind that I was told.
Am I boring you?
I
I'm
read
sorry.
her a long time ago, but I don't remember what it was. But there was
Well,
a reason.
I got to run a commercial. I got to run a commercial.
I'm going to call it a day.
Get it out of there. Yeah.
Everybody, thanks for spending your time with us. Have a safe weekend, a good weekend. Enjoy yourselves. Stay baked. Gianna, have a great time tonight at the concert. I'm so jealous, but you have an excellent time. Have a lot of fun. And that's about it for the day, folks.
Yeah, we'll be back Monday morning, 10 a.m. on the East Coast, 9, 8, 7.
Thank you, Hippie. You have yourself a good weekend.
Yeah, I'll probably hit you up over the weekend. I'm going to reach out to a couple of those people this weekend and start setting up other appointments. So,
yeah, if you're not sure what to question them about, just send them to me.
The first one I'm going to go to is Legally Lit. I mean, they're just a place that sells products, like.
Yeah, I'm just saying in the future.
Actually, that's not right. They have a grow. They're opening up a brand new store right here on the border of Pennsylvania and New York. I mean, Pennsylvania and New Jersey, and they have their grow house right across the street from their new location. So I'm very excited to meet and hang with them because they also sell like the bongs, the bowls, the pipes, the dab rigs, the everything else. And then they are also now becoming a legal dispensary. So very excited to talk to them and all the other people that we met at the festival. I'm going to start reaching out to them this weekend. You, sir, have a great weekend. Enjoy yourself. Spend some time with the wife instead of that damn computer.
She'll be at work. Just so everybody knows, today is your last day to get medical cannabis and migraines from Amazon. So you want to go to DoktorHigh, medical cannabis and migraines. It's the last day to download it for free. And I don't think I'll be posting on Facebook today. So you're going to have to go into my profile and find that last post. And you can use the link there, go directly to Amazon. But it is free today, and that's the last day.
All righty.
So that's it. Just want to know. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Much love, everybody. Thank you so much. Peace.